What up? What up? What up? Truth and Transparency. Welcome. How we doing tonight? Sunday primetime. Want to give a special shout out to all of you guys in chat, live chat, members, subscribers, moderators. Again, hello to all of you guys. Welcome. This is part 3. This is the finale, the FOIA finale. After this broadcast, I will have a members only with even more booms with Brent Kopacka and the Idaho 4 case. Again, welcome. Do me a favor on your way out or while you are watching. You're going to have an opinion about this video. Make it known. Use the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I will never tell anybody how to feel. So you have an opinion, make it known. Again, want to say hello. Hot damn, look at those sexy mods. No way. Yow. I'm feeling better. In case you're wondering, Mod Squad. Check it out.
330, 34 and I arriving. 2051. We need all units to come to 311, top floor. 330, 34 and I arriving. 2051. We need all units to come to 311, top floor.
There's the coffee house apartments. We're gonna go around back and see what they look like.
We're just trying to confirm that we have everybody out except the armed subject. Copy. 406. Good. If you could activate SWAT, we need people to respond for barricading metal and guns. 2054. 0637. I'm going to be en route to go get a
These little stairs I'm gonna walk up shortly.
Getting the parking lot so nobody can come in after out. Yes, but that's a lower priority. Maybe you can have this security and work on that. Copy. 330, 47, did you copy?
See if it goes around. Yep, it does.
Good. If it's possible, can you repeat? That was really scratchy. 2101.
We'll go back around. Park.
406. How many do you have working? 1 row. Copy. We need all of you from 1 and 1,000 weight on top floor. Copy. 0647. You just want 1 shield. If you're able to bring both, but 1 would be good. Copy. Also, we do have a negotiator here at work today.
Okay, we're gonna go up the stairwell. See how loud it is.
Good. 46, 67, 57, 64 on duty at the station. 2104. Medic 31. Good. Hey, can you create a case
Not too
number?
loud.
We're doing a
Hello,
transfer
hello,
from
hello.
PRH to Regency. Affirm.
I'll go
I'm
down
getting
the
to that
stairs.
Copy. The complainant should be somewhere in the north end of the parking lot or towards Manawa and Arena should be also. Good. If you can work on getting as much background info
Okay.
as low as you can there.
Okay. All right.
47, I have his contact number. No, RP. Affirm. Copy, can you text it to me? Affirm. This is a third-party RP. Holding 46, I'm on scene. 2106. Any units coming to the third floor, make sure you come in out the stairwell, the bishop side. Copy. Open 467, arrived. 2109. 47 on scene. 2109. On 457 as the air close.
Just to show you how close the coffee house apartments are to the potential meeting point.
2109.
There's my car parked right there. Just come right up. This is the back of the coffee house apartments right here.
Good.
I'm parked right behind it. Come up the steps. Go to where that car is to cross. And then right at the edge of that roof, I'll zoom in, there's stairs
0646.
right there that go right up about 70 feet to the parking where the car would be parked. So I guesstimate a comfortable 3-minute walk.
Alexis here wants to know if I need keys. Go again. Do we want to have keys for these permits? The more options, the better. Copy. What apartment number? 311311. Copy. They're en route. Open 464, I'm out. 2113. 0657. Records wants to know where you want SWAT to stage. It's been a while near Lake, huh?
On the evening of December 14th, 2022, Grace arrived at her boyfriend Jordan's apartment, number 209, between 8:45 and 9:15, she said. When she arrived, she saw multiple police cars outside, and as she was walking up to the apartment, she was told to stay away from apartment 311. When she got inside, she turned on the police scanner to listen to the information and try to figure out what was going on. After a while of listening to the police scanner, we noticed, as in her and her boyfriend and his roommates, noticed that there was an officer pointing some kind of gun at apartment 311. And they heard on the police scanner that they were evacuating and surrounding apartments along and trying to negotiate with the suspect. A while later, Grace said that she saw an armored vehicle outside the apartment and that a negotiation team had set up their station outside of Jordan's apartment door, which would be 209. She said that she heard on the scanner that the suspect was beginning to barricade himself in and move his furniture toward the door of his apartment. Around that time, they heard tear gas being shot into the window of the apartment. And then the suspect began threatening to shoot his gun. At 2:14 a.m., they heard the first shot from the suspect, and it confirmed shots fired on the police scanner. Now, this will bring in a couple discrepancies. The first being that the negotiation team was set up outside of Jordan's apartment, 209. Well, that's funny because all the officers are saying that the negotiators in 305, across from 311. Also, between 8:45 and 9:15, when Grace is saying that she was arriving and that she was just told to stay away from apartment 311 and there were already cops there, this would directly contradict with other people that were arriving, and that they were told that they could not enter the apartments. So Grace was the only one that was able to enter. Check it out. Between 8:45 and 9:15, I was told to stay away from apartment 311, but by all means, go ahead. Now, there'd be a couple different people that tried to return to their apartments, and they were denied. Riley being one of them. Riley is actually a boy, but the police put her down as a girl. And the other is apartment 310. She tried to come back at 9:30, but was told by police she could not re-enter the apartment. And that is Shaylee, apartment 310. So, but here, Grace, who doesn't live there, is able to get in between 8:45 and 9:15. Grace, the one with the imagination, or I'm sorry, the secretary skills, who listed every single shot without a body cam. The crazy part is that the people that actually lived there, her boyfriend Jordan and the other roommates, none of them gave a synopsis of what happened that night, except for one of the three roommates. The other two refused to cooperate. They would not return emails and phone calls. So Jordan, the boyfriend of Grace, refused, did not return emails or phone calls. But one guy by the name of Rory, who lived in
Unit's roommate, his unit has a balcony. Looks like there's a couple different designs. 330, it does have a balcony. Great. Is with us, with for negotiations. That's correct.
What is up, guys? Yes, the rest of you guys get to see live. No, to answer you guys' question, this 108 is not the apartment, but it is the layout you guys are going to see here. I'm going to switch on over to Hector's going to get some work in. But again, I just want to say, again, thank you. Holy memberships. Look at you guys giving it up on Sunday. Keep the Sabbath day holy, baby. That's awesome. Thank you very much. And all of you guys that got a membership, look out. You guys are going to be able to get that link to come to the after party. All right, guys. It gets, this is part 3. This is my finale with this. And we got a bunch of footage so you guys can see where the sniper shot from, see where they moved from. And then kind of just a couple different things with that course of that night. And it all starts with there was an investigation within an investigation after Brent was shot down. Then it became a new investigation into the shooting of Brent. So with that said, the interviews that took place from the witnesses or people that were living and residing in or spending the night or staying as a visitor in coffee house apartments, they were interviewed. Some people were not. There was a list that went out. And what I mean by that is that 60 people were said to have lived in these apartments at that time, 60 people. authorities were handed over that list. So that would actually be anybody that would be technically on the leases. That's number one. Number two, apartment 107 and 108 were not being used by anybody, per the maintenance men saying that. And then you had a handful of people that did not return emails or phone calls. And it's interesting, some of the people that did not. And then you had a handful of people that already had left for break. And then you had a handful of people that were there and gave statements. And then you had a handful of people that were there and couldn't be tracked down, or if they were tracked down via phone or email, they dodged the police. What I went ahead and did is I put everything on a blueprint to show you their statements and where actually they were, because it matters so that you can actually hear, well, if somebody down in apartment 101 is talking about something, but Brent and his apartment's up top at 311, it kind of gives you a perspective of just like, okay, well, this is coming from this person in this apartment over here, versus, you know, the names that you guys heard in the past 2 episodes, you can't really put where they were. And so what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and made a blueprint of the first floor, everybody that was in each room, the second floor, same thing, and the third floor, same thing. And it is going to blow your mind. Also, I left some bombs that I didn't tell you guys about earlier. So here we go. Let's do it. Okay, in the video that I showed, you guys should see how the coffee house apartments, it's 3 floors. Okay, so this side where Brent's is, this is the side that's underneath, like, is the parking lot. So this is actually Latall Street. Okay, and this is where the parking lot is. The building has 2 stairwells on each side. You can't get in from on the opposite side. You have to come in from the side that where the parking lot is. And there's a stairwell that goes on the right, and they call it like the north side and the south side. The thing that's different on the first and second floor, as you'll notice, on the third floor, there is no 312. Okay. 310 and 311 are the only apartments on floor 3 on this side because they're 3 bedrooms. Down here on, see, it says 210, 211, 212. 110, 111, 112. So the only thing that's different on the third floor is that there is no 312. Let me do. Okay. When these officials came at 4:00 in the morning, they went over to the coffee house apartments, obviously, and then they went over to Beasley to get the students that were bused over there. During that period of time after 5:00, between 5 and 7, these officers, Chapman and Cooper, they spoke with the groups of individuals, which is a fraction of the total of residents of the complex, and explained that they didn't know how long the investigation would take before they would be able to re-enter their apartments, but would be working closely with the Hyatt to provide regular updates. I inquired as to how many people had heard or seen anything related to the incident, which took place between the police and an individual living in the complex. Several people raised their hands, and I advised them that I would like to speak with them, each of them individually, and obtain a written statement from them. During the question and answer period, many occupants advised that they needed to enter their apartments to take care of various issues to include obtaining necessary medicine for themselves or administer medicine for their animals, as well as a host of other time-sensitive requests. I explained to them that I would work with the investigation team to determine if we could safely escort people to their apartments to obtain some items so that they could sustain themselves away from their apartment for the duration of the investigation. I contacted Sergeant Ben McBride and informed him of the apartment's occupants' request to re-enter their apartments to obtain necessary items while they were displaced from the building. McBride advised the area of the apartment in the questions was contained to a small area of the third floor, and most of the residents were not in that area, so we could escort the residents to their apartments to obtain their necessary items. The following is a list of individuals who were escorted by myself into their apartment in order to obtain necessary personal items. And then a list is here like 302, 307, 212, 102, 308. Those are the names. That's what was happening. They get to apartment 304. Now, apartment 304, which take a look. Apartment 304 is over here. At apartment 304, at 15:15 hours during the investigation, a bullet hole was located in a wall in the hallway, which was directly across from the suspect's residence and appeared to enter apartment 304. It was decided this apartment should be cleared to ensure that the bullet which entered the apartment did not strike anyone. Now, it's important to understand that so this is 304, 310. This is where the door is. Obviously, all of this area is the apartment of Brent, allegedly of Brent Kopacka and his roommates. And that through this wall, outer wall here, okay, there was a bullet that went through this wall. Okay. Now, Sergeant Cooper and I knocked and announced our presence, but received no answer. The door was unlocked using the master code for the electronic lock. Once open, the room lights were off and we announced our presence. After receiving no reply, we entered the room. The apartment was quickly cleared and we discovered there was no one home. We did locate a bullet hole, entered the kitchen area, through the drywall, and traveled through a wooden cabinet, and then impacted a second wooden kitchen cabinet. We then cleared the apartment and advised Sergeant McBride of what we located. There was a body cam when this was done, and they refused to turn over the body cam as of today. After that happened, then these apartments were entered with the person and the timestamp. I contacted the management company for the coffee house apartments and requested a copy of the current residents who lived there so we could follow up with each resident to determine whether or not they had witnessed anything the following evening and into the early morning hours. I was provided an Excel printout of the residents and determined there was a total of 60 residents which currently live there. Sergeant Cooper and I split up the residents of the coffee house and reached out to each person via phone and or email. If the resident advised they did not see or hear anything, we noted that on the Excel spreadsheet. Several of the residents only heard what sounded like gunshots and heard muffled voices, and we noted that on the Excel spreadsheet. Some of the residents had more information to provide, so we emailed statement forms for them to complete. If we could not get a hold of a resident via the phone, we reached out to them via email. which we received from the management company, and explained who we were and that we were investigating the incident which occurred on December 14th and into the 15th. There was a small number of residents which we were never able to get in contact with from in order to determine if they had any information to provide or not. The following are summaries of statements I did receive back from residents. For the complete details, please see written statements, which they would not turn over as of today. But in the report, these are as followed. Now, the first person, apartment 201. It's just written backwards, but it's 201 over here. So 201, 301, and 101, they are along the stairwell, and it is a door here at the end of the hallway, and then right across for it. So it's like, that's how that looks. And I'll go ahead and show you guys again on the videos that we have. So 201's right up against the stairwell, as well as out looking back towards the parking lot, which is important. Mendoza became aware of a situation outside of her apartment building on the afternoon of December 14th. Her statement, on the afternoon of December 14th. On the afternoon. Not the evening, the afternoon. She became aware of a situation outside of her apartment building after witnessing two large men that she later confirmed to be police. I have a question how she confirmed that these two large men were police. They had large guns. At 11:09, a large SWAT vehicle moved into the parking lot directly across from my living room window. So again, she's right here, just like how all of these apartments have the balconies and their living rooms right next to their balcony. She's able to look out her window, and the armored vehicle is parked right here out front of her living room at 11:09. Mendoza heard heavy footfalls and could hear people outside her door, as well as a loud crash and banging like someone was dropping something heavy. Mendoza reported hearing glass breaking and multiple gunshots, as well as officers shouting, "Put the weapons down. Put the weapons down." Mendoza advised she laid in bed, scared, attempting to block out the consistent thumping and loud noises coming from above her until 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So above her. Mendoza then heard the officers say that they wanted to evacuate the whole building due to him, the suspect, setting a fire. Mendoza said police came to her door and she exited her apartment. Mendoza advised she headed down the street. She heard shots being fired. Mendoza contacted a friend who picked her up and removed her from the scene. Now, apartment 209, Rory. This would be second floor, next to the stairwell, opposite side. This would be the same apartment that Grace is in. But this is actually Rory's apartment with two other guys. Jordan is allegedly Grace's boyfriend. And then there's another guy, and we'll get to him. Rory. Rory said a friend of his came by his apartment and told him that there were 6 or 7 police cars outside. That would be Grace between 8:45 and 9:15. Rory turned on the police scanner and figured out what was going on. At one point, they heard over the scanner they were bringing in a negotiator, and they were posting them on the second floor. Rory looked out his peephole. So the way that Rory's peephole would look out is you're looking that way. Okay. Rory looks out his peephole and saw the negotiator, as well as at least one officer stationed right outside his door. Okay. Eventually, Rory heard from the scanner they were launching tear gas into apartment 311 window. Rory heard the canister being launched from the parking lot and heard the glass in the window break. Again, this you're able to see right out. This is the parking lot. You're able to actually like look out and see. So this actually has the vantage point of that. So, okay. And this window being broke. Rory also then heard a gunshot that, at the 215. Rory and his roommates counted 26 or 27 gunshots from the gunmen in total. Remember, this is the same apartment where Grace is in recording everything that she did. Next up. Now, check this out. Zach. Zach lives in 209. Zach refused to answer any of the emails. Jordan. Jordan was contacted, but check this out. When Jordan was contacted, this is the boyfriend of Grace that lives in this apartment. Jordan contacted. I sent 2 emails detailed or dated 12/19/24 and left a voicemail for, they spell his name right here, they get the right person, to contact me concerning the incident. I have not received correspondence from, that's not his last name. So they're just copy, cut, and pasting. Because where's that coming from? The previous sentence when they're dealing with Christian. Next. So Jordan refuses. Zach. Rory, and the one thing that we take from him is that they were launching it and broke the window. Okay. Next now. The people that let's go ahead and show you. All right, 202. Hamilton said he was not in the apartment complex when it occurred. He had already left for winter break. (302) Riley. Riley is actually a boy, but the police took her statement and put Riley down as a girl. but Riley is a boy. I mentioned that in the video. So that's how, she arrived. No, it's a boy. Riley is a boy. Okay. Riley lives with two other dudes in 302. So Riley wasn't able to get in. Okay. But there was two other dudes that were in 302. And we'll get to them. Then we have Jeff Lee, who was in apartment 308. He indicated that he and his roommate left just prior to the incident beginning, which wonder if that's even true. But this is 308 all the way down here. And so he and his roommate left before the incident happened. Okay. Caden in 303. He was not present. He had already left for winter break. 310, Lesser indicated she was not present as she already left for winter break in 310. Now, Shaylee, apartment 310, she advised that she had returned to her apartment complex at 9:30. But she was told by police she could not re-enter her apartment. She then stayed the night at her boyfriend's place. She got denied going, but Gracie Poo, secretary, was able to so at 9:30, 15 minutes later. Next up, Isabella. She's a resident at 111, but she was not there during the incident. I'm sorry. Isabella is not a resident of the complex, but was there during the incident. So but she's not a resident. She was there and she heard some gunshots. Okay. Charlotte lived on 306, up in 306. I left a message for Charlotte to contact me concerning the incident which occurred on December 14th and 15th at the Coffee House Apartments. Charlotte called me and told me that she had heard what she thought was doors banging and someone yelling, "Put the weapons down." She said that she went back to sleep and was never evacuated from the building. Charlotte, literally next to 305, across from 311, okay? Charlotte heard some banging, put down the weapons. She just slept, never evacuated. This is Simon, and this is SWAT. Okay. Jasmine, I did a video about Jasmine. Jasmine's in 112. She's in a sorority. Jasmine, interesting what she told police. She told police that she was present and she advised that she only heard a loud crash, which she believed was a car accident. That is not what she said to the school paper at all. This is a little Asian girl. She was in that sorority and she was trying to move out and nobody was helping her. That's what the police said, that she said that there was a car accident. She heard a loud crash. And that she said that to them on 3/16/2023, which was after the video that she made. After the video that she made, where she already claimed that she was there hearing the gunshots. Now, the following people, they failed to return my email or phone. Zach in 209. No call back, Zach. Eric in 307. I sent 2 emails dated 12/19 and 2/4, and I left a voicemail for Jacob to contact me concerning the incident. On 2/4, I did have a conversation with Jacob, who said he would send me a statement. As of 3/10/2023, I have not yet received any statements. I attempted to call him, but received no answer, and his voicemail is full. I sent him a text to send the statement, but have never heard back from him. Christian, apartment 302. I sent 2 emails dated 12/19 and 2/4 and left a voicemail for Christian to contact me concerning the incident. He's in 302. Christian Brown. There's a lot of Christians, man. Apartment 111. So check this out. This is the apartment that everybody was just hanging out in. This girl, Isabella, didn't live there, but she was there. Then you have this person, Christian. Okay. Didn't get back. Don't even know if he lives there. Probably yes. Then you have a Brennan. Allegedly a Brennan. Maybe it's a Brenner. Pullman police officer Scott Patrick had advised when residents of the coffee house were being evacuated, he obtained a list of those individuals. Most of the individuals were residents of the complex, which I later contacted. Brennan indicated he did not live there, but was in an apartment, and it was apartment 111. Brennan did not provide his contact information on the sheet. I searched our local law enforcement records system, but was unable to find any information on Brennan. Brent's roommates. Christian, Yana. Yan said that he did not believe that he was Brent Kopacka's target, and the statements were not towards him. Yana said he did not believe he or his roommates, plural, was who Kopacka was referring to when he said he was going to shoot people. Yana told Officer Lamley this morning when he went to make breakfast that Kopacka had a pistol on the counter. Officer Lamley asked Yana if he was concerned about his safety, and Yana said he was not concerned. Officer Lamley asked Yana if he would find it shocking or surprising if one of his roommates had thought that Kopacka was going to hurt or shoot them. Yana replied, no. Now, one of the roles, not only did these officers have to do, they had to interview then the police. So as they're interviewing these residents, then they go to interviewing the police. And one of the reports is from Chapman and Cooper. So here it is. It's supplemental 5, and this is Sergeant Keith Cooper. On 12/14/2022, it's the day of the 911 call. At approximately 21 hours, Whitman called me at my residence and advised the Whitman County Regional SWAT team were being deployed in Pullman, and that they advised that the Pullman Police Department was out with a barricaded subject, 1000 Latall Street, apartment 311A. This is important. 311A. Brent would be found in 311C. his room. Found. When I arrived on scene, I met with Commander Brashears of the Pullman Police Department near the 1000 block of Latal Street. Commander Brashear told me that the suspect, Brent Kopacka, was barricaded inside his residence in apartment 311 or 311A. Commander Brashear told me the original law enforcement call was a threatening. Who the fuck types a report like this? Brashear told me the original law enforcement call, the original one, was a threatening. Period. The original. Commander Brashear said Kopacka threatening to kill his roommates, identified as Christian Yenna and Jordan Baker, and was walking around the apartment with a firearm. Commander Brashear, I thought he was barricaded in his room. Commander Brashear said Yenna and Baker were no longer in the apartment, which means at one point they were in the apartment. Whitman County Regional SWAT officer took up positions around the apartment complex to include the SWAT team's armored vehicle, which was parked on the north side of the apartments in front of 311. This is my armored vehicle. Negotiators set up in an adjoining apartment laundry room. Okay. Now, these peepers, they're saying that this is where the negotiator was. Now, according to this report, negotiators set up in an adjoining apartment laundry room. We won't mark it yet, though. Negotiators attempted phone contact with Kopacka, but were unsuccessful. They later moved to the 1000 Latal Street Coffee House Apartments to continue trying to contact Kopacka. Members of SWAT moved into an apartment adjacent to Kopacka's apartment. SWAT member inside the apartment advised they were attempting negotiations from the apartment. At approximately 2:15 hours, I started hearing gunshots coming from the coffee house apartments. SWAT members advised shots were being fired from Kopacka's apartment. Throughout the next approximate 2 hours, there was continued gunfire coming from the apartments. During this time, SWAT deployed OC gas into the apartment in an attempt to gain compliance from Kopacka. I contacted Deputy Plessier sniper team in person in the cells parking lot. Now that's going to be up top. So it's on Main Street. It's across. It's up top. I could hear gunfire coming from the coffeehouse apartments. I left Deputy Plessier's position and went back to Commander Brashear's location. At approximately 3:25 hours, Harris advised Kopacka was shooting towards the parking lot. At approximately 3:41 a.m., Deputy Plessier advised that the sniper team had fired one round, but it was not effective. Oopsies. Now, I could still hear gunshots coming from the apartments. At approximately 3:45, I advised that the SWAT advised they believed a fire was started inside Kopacka's apartment. SWAT officers and patrol officers began evacuating the apartment building. The residents were taken away from the apartment building and staged in the like the next block over, and they were taken to the rec center. At approximately 4 a.m., SWAT advised a sniper round had been fired and the suspect was down. A short time later, SWAT advised they were making entry into the apartment. After making entry, SWAT advised the suspect was deceased. I spoke with Deputy Miller, who was in the armored vehicle. I advised Deputy Miller to shut the armored vehicle off, leave it parked where it was, and to respond to the command post. Deputy Miller advised me he believed a bullet coming from Kopacka's apartment struck the armored vehicle while he was sitting in it. I spoke with Deputy Puzzler, who was a sniper observer with Sergeant Boyd. Deputy Puzzler advised he did not shoot, but was with Sergeant Boyd when he shot twice. I advised Deputy Puzzler to remain where he was, and he would be contacted by investigators. The Washington State Patrol officer involved shooting investigation team was dispatched to the scene. I was told Deputy Plesser and Sergeant Boyd were relieved of their posts and taken to the Pullman Police Department and the WSU Police Department. All of their firearms and equipment were left on scene. When the WSP officer involved shooting team arrived, I was assigned to assist with the investigation. So I was there for the incident, and now I'm assisting them investigating the job that I just did. Sergeant Engel of the Pullman Police Department was tasked with briefing the investigation team of what occurred. Under Sheriff Chapman and I were tasked with interviewing residents of the coffeehouse apartments. A large majority of the residents were transported to the Washington State University Student Rec Center. That's where they reported. There were residents who said that they heard or observed things and that they needed to go ahead and give a written statement. We were later provided with a printout of all the residents living on the coffeehouse apartments. Chapman and I contacted or attempted to contact each resident via phone or email. See the attached spreadsheet. Crystal Roberts, 301. Here's your booms. This is Crystal. 301. She is in the stairwell. Crystal said around 8:35 p.m., she heard what sounded like a firework or gunshot. You guys decide, was it a firework or a gunshot? 8:35. Police were not called yet. You understand that? So there were shots before the police were called. Crystal said she looked outside but did not see anything. Crystal said about 5 minutes later, she heard police yelling, "Pullman police, open the door, show us your hands." Crystal said she heard a loud noise again. This is where you can ask yourself, do you think a cover-up ensued? That loud noise. What was that loud noise? Crystal said she went out to her balcony. So this is really important. Crystal's in a prime location. She goes out to her balcony right here. Crystal has perfect view of everything. She's on the same side as Brent's, she's stairwell, then that's Brent's apartment. Okay. Crystal said she goes out of her balcony and she saw the police running away with a dog. Crystal said she has seen the dog from apartment 311. Does that mean that it is the dog from 311? Just because, she has seen the dog from 311. Crystal said within 10 minutes, she saw a police officer in the parking lot with a gun watching the balcony of apartment 311. Again, I'm going to repeat this. Crystal said she heard a loud noise again. Crystal said she went out to her balcony and saw the police running away with a dog. Crystal said she has seen the dog from apartment 311. Crystal said within 10 minutes, she saw a police officer in the parking lot. Let me ask you guys a question. They were looking for dog hair that they thought possibly could have been transferred at some point in the Idaho 4 murders. Is that correct? They were looking for dog hair. And people thought that Murphy could solve the case. Well, Murphy doesn't shed, okay? How important could that dog be? I don't know whose dog that is. So the police get into the apartment and the dog is the only thing that's given over, not the other two people, not the other two roommates. What, the roommates weren't in there? And why would the police be running away with the dog? Wouldn't the dog be with the owner? If they're getting the other two people out, we're able to get the other people out. Ding, ding, ding. The dog could place someone there. You motherfucking right. You motherfucking right. Boom! Again. Here we go. Please pay attention. This is everything. Crystal lives right here. She said at around 8:35, which would be before 911 was called, she heard a loud noise that sounded like a firework or a gunshot sound. Crystal said she looked outside but did not see anything. Crystal said about 5 minutes later, she heard police yelling, "Pullman police, open the door, show us your hands." Crystal said she heard a loud noise again. Crystal said she went out onto her balcony and saw, so this would be after the loud noise again, okay? She goes out on her balcony and then Crystal sees the police running away with a dog. Crystal said she has seen the dog from apartment 311. Crystal said that within 10 minutes, she saw a police officer in the parking lot with a gun watching the balcony of apartment 311. Crystal said she could hear the police in the hallway asking if the remaining person, Brent, was okay and if he was armed. If the remaining person was okay. So there was people in there. And if he would respond to them. Crystal said at first it seemed like Brent was cooperating as the police got. So, I mean, this is just her, this is just Crystal hearing what she's hearing. Here's Crystal. That's her conjecture. It sounded like he was cooperating, Crystal said after a while, it sounded like Brent opened the door as the officers were saying, "Now, when you open the door, you need to listen to what he tells you. Open the door, hands up where we can see them, and hands up. What is in your wallet, waist? What did you have behind you?" Crystal said this did not last long, and more cops were coming to and from the stairs, while a few more with guns positioned in the parking lot. Crystal said for about an hour, police positioned themselves and called in necessary reinforcements. Now, this is where the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs kicks in, and they just kind of take over and saying that Crystal said that for about an hour, police positioned themselves and called in necessary reinforcements, keeping a watch on who was coming into the parking lot and not letting them in and not letting them be in danger. Okay. So then think about this. How the fuck does Grace get through? Grace, you didn't see the dog running out. You didn't see cops doing anything like this, Gracie Poo. This was happening when you were supposedly arriving between 8:45 and 9:15. Grace, you disgrace. You's a liar. Oh, I didn't see any of that. Oh, just totally must have missed that. So how does Grace get through? You wouldn't be letting people in. Moving on. Crystal said they asked, I can't help you if I don't know your side of the story. Now, mind you, Crystal, right here. Okay. The way this operates with 311, these, and I'm going to explain how the room looks, but it's like this. Okay. This is like your hallway. Here's your door. Your kitchen's like this with the cabinets. When you come in the door like this, there's your hallway. So you're going to have a bathroom, bedroom. Okay. This is like your kitchen area. This is like your living area. This is where your balcony door is to go out the balcony like this and be on it. The window that you see here is actually the window of the bedroom. Then the second one is the second bedroom. But that's the hallway. But that's how it looks like. So where she is, like, and then next to this is the stairwell, and then it's her. Okay. Your fireplace. And this is what's going to become interesting is what are these rooms labeled? We'll go back over here. Hopefully my diagrams are helping. Grace is a disgraceful thing. Okay. Here we go. Then Crystal said they asked, I can't help you if I don't know your side of the story. This is where like this is the cover that comes in and says this. Are you all right? Are you okay? Can you hear me? Knock on the wall if you can hear me and let me know if you're all right. This is all, in my opinion, an act. Okay. What they're doing. Are you armed? Do you have any weapons? Crystal said they tried leaving a phone outside his door so that Brent could talk to the police with a phone since he could not be heard through the wall that well. Crystal said that they started trying to negotiate with Brent for the next hours using a phone or anything he would talk to them, but Brent was uncooperative and she could not hear him saying anything. She could not hear him saying anything or give an indication by the police that he was responding. Okay. Crystal said during this time, the SWAT armored Jeep had arrived and she was starting to feel uneasy. Now, according to a one girl, the Jeep arrived at 11:10 p.m. If we're going off of that. Oh, gifting those memberships. I see ya. Thank you. Crystal said that by midnight, the police were discussing charging the door, and that would be accurate. So again, Crystal all over it with the midnight, because that's what that actually like has. Like, she doesn't have any of her stuff mapped out like fucking homegirl Grace. Then so Crystal said by midnight the police are discussing charging the door, getting students away from the dorm windows and who was too close to the scene. So at midnight, Grace is talking about, remember up in this is where the dorms are. That's Stevenson, whatever it is, back over there. Crystal said at this time, she called the non-emergency dispatch to ask if we should evacuate, as they live in apartment 301, the apartment to the right of the stairwell on the 3rd floor. Crystal said they informed her an officer would come up to get them. Crystal said within 1 minute, they were escorted out of the apartment, down the stairs to the 1st floor, and through the building to the south stairwell. Now, this is important. They go down this stairwell. They go down this stairwell. Okay? Then they get to the 1st floor. What they do is then they go into the building, and then they go like this. They go into the building. They go through the building, and they come out over here. Okay? And then what you would do is you'd be off like over, this way. It's like you'd walk them out, and then you'd walk them out to like the front of the building, which would be like Latah Street, away from the parking lot. Okay? And that's really, really important. All right? Because listen to this. So they do all of that. They walk through the building. And Crystal said she could hear a second gunshot. Crystal said after a while, 10 to 15 minutes, she heard 3 louder shots that came from the police. Crystal said she could hear a second gunshot. Crystal said after a while, 10 to 15 minutes, she heard 3 louder shots that came from the police. Now, Crystal said it was quiet again from where she was for another 10 to 15 minutes until she heard a quieter shot. Crystal said it continued this way for about an hour to 2 hours, slowly increasing in frequency of how often she heard the quieter shot until it sounded like one shot every 3 to 4 minutes. Crystal said the police closed off Main Street above the apartment complex in anticipation of a stray bullet. Oh my God, look at these people. Thank you. Thank you. Crystal said it was quiet. Okay, I said that. Crystal said the police closed off Main Street in anticipation of a stray bullets, and they started evacuating all of the residents of the apartment complex. Crystal said this was when she was able to join the other residents to be evacuated with them to the wreck. Crystal said an ambulance arrived at the apartment. Now, how do I know that Crystal is just not a fucking dingbat, right? I'm going to tell you how I know Crystal's not a dingbat. Because Crystal's man, motherfucking David, love you. David living with her. David gets in on it, and he writes his statement. David and Crystal up in 301 together. Okay, right next to the this would be they're right next to Brent's apartment. The stairwell, and this is the north stairwell where there's officers here. Okay. So they're right there. And then they're looking out their balcony, which is the same, side. Now, Davey baby, he says that on the 14th, I've heard a loud bang around 8:30 while he was in his living room. Harkins said he tried to find the source of the sound by looking into the parking lot outside, but could not see anything. So him and his girlfriend are looking outside together. That's what she would do. Harkins said that the sound was loud enough. He could not figure out the direction, though, that it came from. So he didn't think it was worth investigating. Harkins said about 10 minutes later, he heard quick feet. Okay. Let me show you.
Hey, can you create a case number? We're doing a transfer from PRH to Regency.
I'll go down the other stairs.
Copy. The complainant should be somewhere at the north end of the parking lot towards Benoit and Arena should be also.
So right there to the right, that door to the right, that's Crystal's and David's, as you can see, and then right there, there's the stairwell. Okay. Now, Harkins said he said the sound was loud. He said about 10 minutes later, he heard quick feet going up the stairs and yelling by cops. Harkins said he assumed the loud sound was why the cops showed up. Harkins said he went to the door to listen. Okay, which makes sense. He's right here. Yeah, I'm going to fucking listen in too. You know what I mean? And this is happening literally right here. They were coming up his stairwell. Harkins said he went to the door to listen. Harkins said he heard the cops remove a dog. Harkins said he did not open the door enough to see. Harkins said it was fuzzy what happened the next 40 minutes. And that's everything. But he turned on his police scanner and listened to them call SWAT. Harkins said he remembers an officer attempting to get Brent to open the door so they could get his side of the story. Harkins said at first Brent would respond, open the door, but he got yelled at to stop and show what he had. Harkins said that after that he answered to the officers a few more times, but each time it was too soft for him to hear. Now, he can't hear shit. Look at guys. He's right here. It's too soft for him to hear. But everybody else just has these magical ears. Fuck out of here. Okay. Harkins said once Brent stopped answering, the officer kept repeating, saying something. So I know you are okay. Bang on the wall if you're okay. Harkins said the officers kept offering mental health services and trying to provide him a way to talk to the command post. Again, that's all an act, in my opinion. Harkins said the longer this went on, the more random yelling he could hear, but he could not make out the words. Harkins said listening to this was irritating him because of the looping questions. So he went back to playing video games. Harkins said his girlfriend called the non-emergency phone and the cops walked them out to the back of the apartments. Okay. Harkins said that they sat in the back of a police car. Oh We need to find out what they know. They sat in the back of the police car because I was wondering where Crystal Poo was getting all of her information. So Crystal, who says the cop shot 3 times, is right there. Okay. Crystal and David are in the cop car. Harkins said that they sat in the back of the cop car. Harkins said that they could hear gunshots. Harkins said the shots started out slow, one every 10 minutes, then kept getting more and more. Harkins said he got moved to a bus and went to the rec center. Harkins said he had met Brent before. Okay. This is important. This is where his apartment is. He is motherfucking neighbors with Brent, or wait till you hear what he has to say. So this is not some guy that's over here, living over here on the second floor, or some first floor guy. This is literally, this is the guy that lives next door to this apartment. So Harkins said he had met Brent before when he tried to rip the panel off of his Harkins' car. Brent tried to rip the panel off of his car, he said. Harkins said Brent would stand outside of apartment 311 for long periods. This isn't just one occasion, okay? He would stand outside of 311 for long occasions, long periods. And when David asked him why he was standing outside, Brent would say his brother was in the shower or asleep and he was waiting for him to let him in. Now, I wanted to see what kind of doors we're dealing with, okay? So we were over at, let me do this really quick. I'm going to share something with you guys. Okay. right, sorry, that took a couple extra seconds there for you. Take a look at this. All right, I want to take a look at the mailboxes. Okay. So again, 311s like that. All the other ones, guys, they are all in those other, see those boxes? All of them, like right there. That's where they're at. All of those are right there. 311, right there. And then just recently, like, I mean, but look at all of those, all the other apartments. $311. Thought that was interesting. Next up. Okay, next is okay. Okay, I want you to take a look.
Okay, we're gonna go.
The red SUV also. 675764 on duty at the station. 21 Jetport. Medic 31. Go ahead. Hey, can you create a case
Not too
number?
loud.
We're doing a
Hello,
transfer
hello,
from
hello.
PRH to Regency.
Okay.
What ambulance things?
Let's get this one right.
Copy. The complainant should be somewhere that
So that's 305. They're on a diagonal. So there's 305. Now check this out.
north end of
Now diagonal, there's 311. Okay. So they're not like they're adjacent, they're offsetting. All right. So but if in order for you to see in from 305 to see in to 311, the way that the doors open, you have to be standing in a certain way, and that door just can't be just a little open. Like these doors would have to be wide the fuck open. Okay.
parking lot over
Now I went one step further, and we're gonna go like this. Now Brent said that he was waiting for his brother, to let him in because he's either showering or he's sleeping. Okay. Now, my question is, nobody would have to wait because right here, boom daddy. This is 311's door. These are, and that I went back and checked through the reports. Each door has a master code. So you can just, if you own the property, maintenance and stuff, you can get into these. You do not need a key or anything like that, okay? You punch in that code and it turns the whole deadbolt, okay? All you need is to punch in your key code. That's it. So Brent couldn't have forgot his keys because these don't take keys. And no, it wasn't just, oh, did they start doing this after the shooting? Nope. It's in the reports. These are how the doors were. Okay. If you had a chain on the other side, awesome, great. But all you need to do was punch in this key code, and this fucking door would open to the point of depending on if there was a chain on the other side or not. I don't know. But let's not kid ourselves with those fucking chains. But you would just need to punch in this code to get in. You don't need a key. So Brent lived there and didn't know the code. Yes, it unlocks it all. All of it. So again, who lived here? This doesn't sound like a guy, unless he's lying to his neighbors. Okay. But this doesn't sound like a guy that is what? I mean, I can get in there. I forgot my keys. It doesn't matter. I punch in my code, you know. Again, going back to what David said. He said, I had met Brent before. He tried to rip the panel off of his Harkin's car. Harkin said Brent would stand outside of apartment 311 for long periods, and when he asked him why he was standing outside, Brent would say his brother was in the shower or asleep, and he was just waiting for him to let him in. Now, going back. Okay. I have other pictures of this door, but this door is not a new door. Okay. You would think this door would have been fucked up. All right. We went along the walls. Okay. I wanted to look back here at 304 because wait till you guys see this. Where was this bullet? Because let me explain something. There's 305. Look at that door. Okay. 311. This is there's a little ding there. This is not a new door. All right. This is the same door. Okay. This is 304 right here. Now, this is the apartment that a bullet went through this wall over here, right here, which is across from where Brent would be allegedly, right? But if Brent was on that side, how the fuck was he hit by a sniper? You think Brent shot? You think that was the first sniper shot that went through? It went through the wall into the kitchen cabinet, like the first back of it, the kitchen cabinet, and then went through the door to the kitchen cabinet. Okay. They said there was a hole in the wall over here. All right. Now, thank you, David and Crystal. Not done yet. Couple last booms, and then I'm gonna go over to members only. In apartment 208, which is right next to Gracie Poo. This is where Weston is. Weston said he was asleep until 4 a.m. when the police on scene requested evacuation. Weston said his roommates woke him up and they exited the building to the east wall and Latah Street. Weston said they waited until 4:50 when they got on the bus that took them to the rec center. They stayed there until 7 a.m. and they went to the rec center. Okay, this is Gracie Poo. This is Weston. Okay, he slept. Okay, then In this room with him is Chet. Chet says he saw a bunch of cops around the building at 9 p.m., heard 2 to 3 gunshots around 2 a.m. Chet said they were asked to evacuate the building at 3:50 a.m. That's it. That's all he says. Weston, Chet, this is where Grace is. Means negotiator and an officer right outside the peephole, remember? Now, Patrick, he's in 210. Now, he's directly like almost underneath where Brent is. This is Patrick. Patrick said he went to bed around 9 p.m. and sometime before he fell asleep, he heard 2 pop bang sounds and 2 guys talking, maybe arguing, and some other noises, sounds he couldn't identify. Patrick said the cops came to his apartment and evacuated him sometime between 3 and 4. And he was on a bus at 5. Two pops before he went to sleep at 9, which is consistent with her. Okay. Next. Leslie. Leslie's in 104. Good old Leslie. Leslie said, around 4 or 4:20, she heard the Pullman police pound on her door, stating to grab her shoes and whoever else was in the apartment to evacuate due to an active shooter. Leslie said she heard a loud pop as she left the building. Leslie said she had one encounter with the shooter many months ago. Leslie said she was not sure what month it was, but it was before winter started. Leslie said she could only remember how a blank expression, and just did not look okay, staring far away into the ground. Leslie said when she saw him, she asked if he was okay, and he said he was. Leslie said she had noise-canceling headphones on during the incident prior to the evacuation, did not hear much. So she just wore her headphones. We get to my boy Miles. Miles is in 302. Miles, 302. Miles makes a report. This is the apartment where Riley's at, and the cops think Riley is a girl, but Riley is a boy. Okay? Don't know how you missed that. But here's Miles, and Miles makes a report. Miles says that he received a text from his roommate Riley, at 12:42 a.m. stating he had been stopped from returning to the apartments. This is how shitty these officers are, and they don't pay attention to a damn thing. Riley is a boy. They can't even get that right. Well, did you not really talk to Riley? Did you just handle through email? What's up? So Riley is a boy. Cops think Riley is a girl, though. And this was at 12:42. So Miles says that Riley had been stopped from returning to the apartment by the police, and there was an active shooter on their floor. Miles said that he went to the front door of the apartment and heard the police saying, "Come out with your hands in the air. We are ready to use force or chemical agents to remove you from the building," or something to that effect. Or something to that effect. God, that is such police language. Look at that. Or something to that effect. Or something to that effect. Just like fucking the PCA. Okay. These are supposed to be the witnesses' statements or something to that effect. So he heard this repeatedly over the bullhorn. Miles said there was muffled shouting every once in a while. Miles said he started listening to the police scanner. Miles said about 30 minutes later, he heard a loud bang, which the scanner confirmed to be a gunshot from inside the building. Miles said after a while of more muffled shouting, he could not make out. He heard more. So this person can't make out anything. Okay. This person can't make out anything either. Okay. They're all right here. Okay. None of this, I'm going to murder you. I'm going to murder you. Okay. So there's repeated stuff over this bullhorn. Miles Wilson said that after a while, there's more muffled shouting. He heard more gunshots and bangs getting more frequently over the time. Miles said he heard over the scanner that the 2 lower floors were being evacuated. So he woke up his roommate. And here it's perfectly stated that his just singular roommate, because there'd only be one other person in there, okay, which was Christian. Okay. He had to wake him up because Riley wasn't allowed in. That would be his other roommate. Singular. So on the money. Perfect. And that they both got ready in case their floor got evacuated. Miles said that they waited in the living room and heard a lot of movement in the hallway. Miles said he checked the people and saw officers in the hall. Here's your booms. Miles said at least 3 officers entered the apartment. They're not evacuated yet, okay? Check this out. Miles said at least 3 officers entered the apartment. Ready? Miles said after a couple minutes and some loud noises, he heard on the scanner that the shooter was down and they were securing evidence. The way that Miles says that this happens is in a completely different order, according to Miles. And he says he is looking out his peephole, which is a direct line right here. And he says that at least 3 officers entered the apartment. Miles said after a couple minutes and some loud noises, he heard on the scanner that the shooter was down and they were securing evidence. Now, could that be that, did it not go over the scanner that the sniper had hit suspect down? Remember the whole suspect down? Where does that come into play? How much of this statement did this officer not put in his report about what Miles said? But Miles' order is basically saying that those officers were in there before anything went out on the scanner. Boom. Suck it. Potts says they were securing the hatchet in the wall. Just when you thought I wasn't going to give you another one, I'll give you another. This is for Drip Drop. Drip Drop, this one's for you. Oh, and by the way, no, it doesn't list the items removed. And by the way, Wilson said that after that, the all clear text came from the WSU alert system. Oh my God. And that's important because he's saying that all of that happened and then this came out. So curious to see. So Wilson said after that, the all clear text came from the WSU alert system. So now Miss McCoy here, she lived in 102. She's in a good spot right up the stairwell. And she said that she got home around 8 or 8:25 and heard some loud noises. Shuffling sort of sounded like people arguing. So she assumed it was a couple fighting, arguing with each other. In which I believe that she started hearing it out here. Which makes sense. And this is at 8 to 8:25. And then she heard lots of phrases like, "You were under arrest. Please come out with your hands up and nothing in them. We can talk about this. We don't want to hurt you. Put the firearm down and come out with your hands up. Please respond. The phone is there for us to talk to you." Alexa said it sounded like the officers were, or I'm sorry. That's not her. That's not her. Whoopsies. I was about to say McCoy didn't say that. McCoy said that she heard loud noises, shuffling, sort of sounded like people arguing, so she assumed it was couples fighting. McCoy said that this was above her, hallway on the first floor. Then she went into her room and fell asleep and woke up around 2 a.m. So I believe that as people were coming back, they were walking, walking up. And then so she starts to hear this as, whatever's taking place as they're going up, possibly to this room at between 8 and 8:25. She could be wrong with her time. Awesome. She just assumes it's people arguing. So she goes to sleep. She says that she does not wake up until 2 a.m. And she says that she wakes up at 2 a.m. and notices cops outside of the building from her window. McCoy said that she heard a bunch of shots go off at random times from 2 a.m. until they said to evacuate at 4. McCoy said certain shots were louder than others and that they were random times with sometimes longer times between them. McCoy said that she heard quite a bit of shuffling above her throughout the time. McCoy said that she was texting with her friends while this was happening and text them updates while shots were going off. They don't put that in the report, but I want to see that. So, hey, McCoy, send me your text messages. Thanks. Appreciate you. And now Alexa. Alexa is in 205. 205 is directly underneath. This is 3. So directly underneath 305, not underneath 311. And this is important. So Alexa's on this side. And so she is directly underneath SWAT. Okay. Now, Alexa, she said that she fell asleep around 8 p.m. and woke up to yelling and banging coming from the floor above her. Who the fuck are these people going to bed so early? 8 p.m. bed. She woke up. She doesn't give a time that she wakes up. Alexa said once she woke up, she heard lots of phrases like, "You are under arrest. Please come out with your hands up," and nothing in them. "We can talk about this. We don't want to hurt you. Put the firearm down and come out with your hands up. Please respond. The phone is there for us to talk to you." Alexa said it sounded like the officers were trying to talk to him. They referred him to either Fred or a friend. She assumed Fred, but he wasn't responding. Alexa said she heard lots of coughing then, okay, which tells me that this is more towards like 12, 1, actually like between 1 and 2. But she said that she heard lots of coughing and furniture moving around the apartment above her. The furniture that was being moved was above her. That means this is talking about the SWAT, okay? So it wasn't Brent moving stuff. She's saying it was apartment above her. You would know if it's the apartment above you that's doing something or if it's the, like that's the side you're on, okay? She heard them moving the stuff, all right? So people saying Brent was barricading himself in there. Well, we have homegirl right here. She's nuts money. This is where she is. She's in 205. SWAT's in 305. And SWAT did say they were moving their shit around. Well, that's what she heard. She heard them. Alexa said that she also heard him go out to the balcony multiple times. Boom. Gotcha, Alexa. This wasn't Brent going out to the balcony. You were on this side. You can't see Brent going out to the balcony no. You go out to your balcony on this side, or you hear anything coming out your balcony, Alexa, that is from the SWAT doing their shit off of their balcony. Okay? They were opening up that balcony and all coughing like a bunch of pussies out the fucking back, because who wouldn't cough? I know I would cough if I was getting tear gassed. It would be a shit show. Okay? I've been tear gassed. It's fucking horrible. Okay? That's them. That is the SWAT out the balcony here, which is happening right above her. She says that Alexa said that she heard lots of coughing, then furniture moving around the apartment above her. Alexa said she also heard him go out to the balcony multiple times. Yeah, you heard the SWAT going out to the balcony multiple times. Then Alexa said at one point, some liquid was being poured outside, she thought. So Alexa is, like I said, she's off of the backside. This is Latah over here. Okay. That's where the SWAT is. They were pouring shit out the balcony. Okay. Sorry, honey. You can't see through walls and up top of, you can't see God. Okay. That's not how it works. But she's over here. She just thinks, she doesn't know. She just thinks that's who was making all that noise was the shooter. No, the noise, the coughing, the moving everything around. It is the SWAT team doing it right above her. Okay. Right above her. That's what she's hearing and seeing and coughing and all this crap. So until you actually put all of these people's names on a sheet like this and you put a blueprint together to see, okay, who's saying what and where are they actually located? Well, it makes way more sense and more people are able to be believed in what they're actually hearing. But Alexa's over here writing in her report that she thinks that this is, honey, you weren't hearing him. You were hearing the SWAT. SWAT was out in the balcony. Then she said, Alexa said she also heard multiple popping sounds. Alexa said the popping sounds became more frequent. The officer said that they may have to use lethal force against him if he doesn't drop the weapon. Drop the weapon down. Alexa said she heard them say that they had authorization to use force to make entry to get inside. Would love to know what time that was at, Alexa. Alexa said eventually the SWAT team evacuated everyone. Alexa said she gathered this was because they thought the building may catch on fire. Then here comes a bomb. Ready? Alexa says she spoke with officers around 1:50 a.m. Did you call them? How did you speak to somebody at 1:50 a.m.? You came out of your apartment and listened to all of this above until they eventually evacuated around 3:50. How did she talk to them at 1:50 but stays in her apartment till 3:50? Alexa said she called a friend to pick her up. Please explain that to me. Oh, that's right, because none of this is fucking... Everything happened, you guys. All of this stuff happened way earlier. This was all over with way earlier. And then this was all the cover-up of how it all went down, period. Getting dogs out, but leaving people behind. I'm sorry, but like... Who the fuck believes this? Then I got a couple last ones here. Tracy, come on down. Check it out, Tracy. I got you. Only because you guys are so giving today. Tracy stated on December 14th, she arrived back home at around 8:05 p.m. Tracy said about 40 minutes later, she heard loud noises banging and someone talking loudly. It's like, wait, Tracy, where are you at? Tracy is in 108. Tracy and Mrs. Smith. Okay. Now, Mrs. Smith was born in 1949. Tracy was born in 1971. Hopefully they were wearing their hearing aids if they had them. Just kidding. So again, she arrived back home at 8:05. Tracy said about 40 minutes later, she heard loud noises, banging, and someone talking loudly from above her apartment. Tracy said she got ready for bed. Tracy said it was still loud, but this wasn't the first time she turned up her phone and went to sleep. Tracy said that she woke up at 2 a.m. She was abruptly awoken by a loud banging noise. Tracy said again she heard someone yelling and talking loudly. Tracy said she also heard noises near the dumpster, which is close to her side of the window. Tracy said she got up since she couldn't sleep with all the noise. Tracy said she sat in the front room. Now, mind you, her front room, okay, like, because it goes out. So she's going to be over here. Okay, her front room's right over here. She sat in her front room and she sat there for about an hour and a half. Tracy said she heard banging on the doors. Tracy said she waited a few minutes and the banging was on her door. Tracy said she was taken out of the apartment building because of a tenant on the third floor was trying to start a fire and fire a gun. Tracy said that they asked to hug the side of the building as to not make themselves a target. Tracy said a shot was fired as they made their way down the street and around the shrubs. What? Tracy said another shot was fired. Tracy said that they waited in the cold for about an hour before a bus came. So Tracy, thank you. Now, in this apartment with Tracy is Mrs. Smith. Now, Miss Smith keeps it real. Miss Smith says, "Girl, I heard shooting from that apartment above at least at 8:45. Then noises of arguing and banging and thumps. But yeah, at least I heard those guns at 8:45. Boom!" Thank you, Miss Motherfucking Smith. 8:45 gunshots, Miss Smith. Again, Miss Smith said, "Girl, I heard shooting from the apartment above her starting at about 8:45 p.m. Them noises of arguing and banging and thumps." Miss Smith said at 3:15 a.m. she heard loud pounding on her door and they were told to evacuate. She said they were escorted out the building. That was it. That was all she said. Girl, thank you, Miss Smith. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, if you have an apartment full of guns and you have Jordan in there, you don't know what he looks like. You don't know what Christian looks like. You don't know what Brent looks like, okay? You're taking all of those motherfuckers. You're going up there. You don't know who is who. So if a phone call comes in and says, we have roommates are arguing, people are threatening to kill each other, come on over here. Like that's the call that came in. Every time that those people were hearing, come out with your hands up, open up the door, come out with your hands up. I believe that happened multiple times with each one of those people. You wouldn't know who the person was that, until what? Let me just walk out there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm Christian Yenna, but I'm really Brent." Okay? You don't know. Cops have no idea. So when you're going there, but you hear now those are your witness statements. Wait, we got cops getting there, then they're removing a dog. They're removing a dog. Okay, here, get this dog out of here. I mean, what? Okay. Okay. Where's anybody even talking about that dog on the radio? We don't hear about a fucking dog. You want to know why? Because that dog was supposed to be all hush, hush. That dog sheds. Find me that dog. I want to know where that dog is. You wouldn't know who any of these people are. You would have to take everybody out of that apartment. You don't know who they are. You take all of them. Like they could be the one. Did you remember that? Did you tell him that he was under arrest? Did you tell him that he was under arrest? Remember that in the beginning at like 9:15? Yeah, they should all be under arrest because we don't know who's who. And if they're all threatening each other and they all have guns, I mean, what the fuck? You don't know who anybody is. You don't know, okay? You don't know anything. Unless you do. Unless you do. Unless you do. Well, hopefully those diagrams helped out. I'm going to be over in members only to talk about it in a breakdown. But I want to say thank you to everybody. You guys, whoa, just giving it away tonight. Kim, Hunter, LA, Tracy, Joanne, woo. I mean, wow. Viking, Kelly. Green. It's electric. Give my boy a like over there. How are you? Evil CJ, baby. Drop that link over there. Golden, Brian. Lady. RJ, thank you. Kelly, boom. I mean, who was getting memberships tonight? Welcome to Home Team, Truth and Transparency. Welcome. We don't even know that answer. Love it. You guys rock. Again, thank you guys so much. I've been a little bit under the weather, but wanted to bring it here on this last finale. After interviewing residents at the rec center, I responded back to the coffee house apartments and met with WSP investigators. When we arrived on scene, they were processing the scene. Under Sheriff Chapman and I escorted residents to their apartments to retrieve their items. During the investigation, a bullet hole was discovered coming out of apartment 311 through the hallway and into apartment 304. We decided apartment 304 needed to be cleared to ensure nobody inside the apartment had been struck by the bullet. I would love to know who you think took that shot. Because if it was Brent, we have problems. If it was Brent, we have big problems because of the layout of the apartment. If Brent got hit because he was by a window, there was no way that he could be over here to shoot through the wall. Okay, he would have been in one of these two bedrooms. And they said that he was in bedroom C, which is very interesting. His bedroom was bedroom A. So he was in bedroom C. And catch me in the members only. I will be dropping the link. What you have to do is you have to go to the community page and the link will be there in the next 5 minutes. So again, thank you guys so much. Thank you to the mods. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Do me a favor, share it, like it, love it. If you don't like it, don't like it, put the thumbs down. Do your thing.
Okay. Okay. All right.